Hi, I'm Bonnie Chi Lum. Welcome to Vital Signs.
And I'm Dusty Rigsby. On this edition of Vital Signs, we'll be spotlighting the local community outreach efforts of Loma Linda University students.
Historian Richard Schaefer will take us back to the day when the medical school at Loma Linda finally achieved an A rating from the American Medical Association.
And we'll see another piece of the story of student life here at the School of Medicine.
That's all just ahead on Vital Signs.
We're delighted to welcome Dr. Henry Lamberton to this edition of Vital Signs. Dr. Lamberton is Associate Dean for Student Affairs. We're also pleased to have Katie Friedrich with us. Katie previously served as the Director of the Healthy Neighborhoods Project and is now the liaison between the project and the Alumni Association, which helps to fund several of the volunteer programs. Welcome, Dr. Lamberton. Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here.
My pleasure.
Katie, can you explain what the Neighborhood Project is about, the Healthy Neighborhoods Project?
Sure. The Healthy Neighborhoods Project was started in 2001 by some medical students who wanted to foster a relationship between the students at Loma Linda and some of the lower income community that we're surrounded by. So they started with a health fair, and then they moved on, adding different projects or programs each year, and we now have 8 programs.
Of those, were you involved with any of them directly?
Yeah, there was one that I started volunteering in as a first year or a freshman student, and that was the Community Kids Connection, or CKC, tutoring. And I weekly met with a 14-year-old boy and helped him with his math homework or reading or whatever it is that he needed help with that week.
So now you're in your 3rd year?
Yes.
Are you still involved in the program?
I am. It was really important for me to maintain continuity between my 1st, 2nd, 3rd year with the Community Outreach Project. So last year I was, as was mentioned, the director for the programs, and this year I'm the liaison between the Alumni Association and the Healthy Neighborhoods Projects.
So you're very busy as a student.
Yes.
And so how do you manage to balance, volunteering and doing well in school?
It's always about what you make your priority. And my dad always taught me, to whom much is given, much is required. And it's not really a command or something that's demanded in my personal view. It's that I've been blessed with so much that it's important for me to make that time to try and bless others with what I've been given.
Dr. Lamberton, why does the School of Medicine encourage involvement in community service projects?
Well, it very much is congruent and fitting for our mission, but I'd have to say that it was really the students that started this and kind of brought us along. In this particular case with the Healthy Neighborhoods Project, we had a group of students that had a vision and started working on various programs, and several of us that are in administration have just been trying to support them and help them in the background and make sure all the permits and all the things that are required in this day and age are in place.
Do you think that by having students being involved in community outreach contributes to them being a better physician in the long run?
I definitely do. One of the things that it does for them is gives them a chance to really get to know a population of people that as individuals and some of the family dynamics, get to know them in a psychosocial, spiritual way before they get to the clinical years, when they're really concentrating on learning how to give vital signs and how to do all the things they're learning to do as doctors. And here they're finding out many families are just getting started in this country. They're hard workers. They're trying to do the best for their children. They struggle, and quite a few single-parent families. But I think it's very good for students in that way. And it keeps them going, too. They often tell me it keeps them inspired for why they're going into medicine, to be helping somebody in that practical way every week.
Now, Katie, given what Dr. Lamberton was saying, how it helps students keep going, what do you think was your personal blessing from being involved with, helping?
Well, I think back to my first year when I was mentoring or tutoring JJ, and just the special relationship that we were able to form that year. I was always so excited to go and see him every week, and he had some new story about school to tell me, or was really excited to see the pictures I brought from my family. And that was a special blessing for me. It gave me something to look forward to every week other than studying.
Now, is he in high school now?
He is in high school, yes.
And are you still in communication with him?
Yeah, he actually texted me the other day to ask how school was going.
Now, do you feel like this is, are there challenges that you face in terms of keeping these programs going? Because students rotate in and rotate out, so how do you students keep this program going?
One of the big challenges is, like you mentioned, keeping students involved. A lot of people are really excited about the programs when they start, and so they volunteer, but then with the rigors of school, decide maybe I can't commit to a weekly volunteer program, and then they drop out. So that's one of the not problems, but challenges we face. And another one is funding. It's all funded on grants and donations from donors.
But overall, students, you're able to get enough students to keep these going.
Yes, for the most part, we have a broad student base.
Thank you very much, Katie, for your contributions to our community.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Lamberton, for being with us.
Thank you.
Coming up, 2 outreach programs aimed at helping local high school students, Project Hope and Special Ops. First, let's hear what people are talking about on campus.
Here locally, I've been doing tutoring, and that's very practical. You work with kids and with families who may not know about God or have a different background.
There's so many service opportunities here at Loma Linda. Whether it's locally, they have things like the CAPS program, Norton Neighborhoods. You can tutor with kids, or you can go and be a mentor for an afternoon every week.
With the tools I've gained in Loma Linda, I'm even now as a student, I'm able to still help people outside of Loma Linda, which is probably the greatest experience. To me, service is definitely the best way to live life.
I got a chance to be a part of the mentorship program, and it was a good break from studying. But it was also just fun to get out there, play some sports with the kids, and do something different. For a couple hours every week.
There's a million ways that you can serve as long as you're willing to take the time.
Joining us now on Vital Signs are Eurydice Lopez from Project Hope and Ethan Neufeld from Special Ops. Welcome, Eurydice, and welcome, Ethan, to our show.
Thanks so much for having us.
Eurydice, what is Project Hope and what is its aim?
Project Hope is a mentoring program that we have in the 3 high schools in the San Bernardino area, and we have 3 goals. The first goal is to help the mentors set up personal goals as they prepare to parent a child. The second goal is to foster an environment where they feel accepted and where they bond with their mentors. And the third goal is to encourage academic achievement, career planning, and job skill development.
For the students who are involved with, for instance, a student, how long do they work with that particular student?
We meet on a weekly basis every Fridays afternoons for an hour and a half.
What do you talk about in these meetings?
We talk about topics that they have not covered in their school curriculum, such as drug such as child abuse and domestic violence, nutrition, postpartum depression, and so on.
So are you still currently involved with the student?
No, not this year, but as a freshman I was.
And can you tell me a little bit about your experience with the student?
Yes, I had a great experience with my mentee. She was a new mom of, she was a young mom of a 2-year-old boy, and we had a great connection when we met, and it was a good, really good relationship.
Now, Ethan, tell us a little bit about Special Ops.
Special Ops, it's very similar in the mentoring aspect. We work in high schools in the area, San Bernardino High School, San Gregorio High School, and we work with at-risk young boys in 9th grade. And our goal there is really to be role models for them and kind of teach them life lessons about how they can, what they can achieve in life, and kind of teach them skills for them to have success. And that is very vague, I know.
Now, are you involved with a particular student yourself?
Well, it's really like a large group of guys and then a group of our mentors. So we tend to pair up one mentor to about 3 guys at a time. So yes, there are some in particular that I spend time with, but we tend to let the relationships kind of figure themselves out.
Now, do you find it a challenge to balance your volunteerism and being able to keep up in school?
No, not personally. It is definitely a time commitment, but I think part of being in medical school is being able to manage time commitments. And it really is incredibly valuable to me, so I'm willing to make time for it.
Now, you bring up that point, valuable. What personal blessings, if you will, have you received from participating in this?
The biggest thing is perspective for me. I think at least this year, second year in medical school, it's so easy to get bogged down in academics, just plugging away at textbook and printing page after page. It's really refreshing to spend some time and doing something very practical where you go to a high school and you make an impact on someone's life. And this program's been really great because I see what we accomplish with these guys. And it's really refreshing, especially after a week of hard studying.
Can you tell us about a typical session at one of these high schools?
Yeah, absolutely. We tend to meet at the parking lot in Loma Linda. We all drive together. We show up, and essentially this is their last school period of Friday. And so we take over their class. We tend to have a kind of goal or kind of ethics that we want to teach them for that day. And we either have an activity or a discussion where we kind of interact in small groups and kind of find out, what they feel about that, comparing our values to theirs. And then after that, we actually go out and play sports, which is a big part of Special Ops because we really want to take these values and apply them with things like teamwork, cooperation, and so that's a really great place to do it. And of course, a lot of these guys they could use the exercise too, and that's a big part of it. We want to teach them healthy lifestyles as well. Yeah.
Do you have to deal with any attitude issues in ninth grade?
Yeah, that's all the fun. It's a different culture entirely with a different set of values, different language, and so it is very challenging. And it's tempting to want to kind of alter yourself in order to blend in with them. But we tend to find that if you just come and you're honest about who you are and what your values are, that it works out. But that's not to say there isn't a really big barrier to get past initially.
Are there any requirements for students to be involved in either of these projects?
For Project Hope, the only requirement is for the mentors to be students at Loma Linda University.
And how about in your program?
Nope. As long as you're willing and you have Fridays free, and of course are a student enrolled.
Is there any special training that you give to students who are willing to do this to help them deal with these at-risk populations, for example? We have a brief orientation at the sign-up day, and then we also spend an afternoon discussing with them what they're going to expect. Because it's often very surprising to show up and meet a 9th grader who has a kid, for instance. And we want to prepare them for a lot of surprises like that because, we're entering an entirely new world that a lot of students are not familiar with. So we do have a decent amount of orientation.
I was wondering, with these programs, do you have a method of evaluating success? For instance, like with Project Hope?
Yes, we do. We measure how successful we are with our program based on how the attendance of the mentees for our program and how involved they are. And some of these mentees are very young, and so when they come in, they're very involved in our program, that we take it as being successful.
Well, Eurydice and Ethan, thank you both so much for joining us in our studio and sharing both these important projects.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
It's time now for our Heritage Snapshot, and stay tuned. Another chapter of student life is on the way.
On November 14, 1922, the Council on Medical Education of the American Medical Association awarded the College of Medical Evangelists the long-sought A grade for its School of Medicine accreditation. This new A grade vindicated denominational leaders in their relentless pursuit of excellence to raise the school's accreditation with the American Medical Association. I have a quotation that I'd like to share with you from Dr. Nathan Caldwell, the Secretary of the Council on Medical Education. He said, "I feel ashamed of myself sitting here rating you people, which is a little bit of a job, while you are doing the really big things of the world. You have done wonders in your school, and I am proud of you." The A grade rating by the American Medical Association influenced licensing authorities around the United States, including the National Board of Medical Examiners. The National Board of Medical Examiners not only recognized the College of Medical Evangelists, but held their examinations for the Southwestern United States at the White Memorial Hospital in Los Angeles. Dr. McGann then received a letter from the National Board management, and it was an interesting letter I'd like to quote. They wrote an almost brotherly letter, I think one of the kindest and most friendly letters I have ever received from a board of that kind in my life.
Coming up right after the break, the ongoing story of the lives of our medical students.
I think I'd be really hurt if I didn't get into Loma Linda. I think I'll be much more scared tonight and tomorrow morning. I may look really cool and calm and relaxed, but I probably won't be able to eat very much tomorrow morning. Nerves. Usually it takes 5 to 7 minutes to walk there, and I left 12 minutes ahead of time. I think I'll be okay. But I could sprain my ankle on the way there, so I don't know how fast I can hop.
So I'm standing in front of Harvard Medical School in the quadrangle. I just finished up all my interviews, and I smell like a wet sheep because my suit is completely soaked. It's been raining all day. We did a walking tour of Brigham and Women's Hospital.
The interview process for med school is a little bit different than the rest of the world. You apply to a ton of different places across the country, and you try to find a day that works for them and works for you to interview at. You fly there, there's a big group of people, and depending on how hard the program is, you might be selling yourself a lot more than the program's trying to sell itself. A little bit easier specialties to get into are gonna try to woo you more than some of the other ones. When you're done with your interviews, you rank every place by the one you like best to the least, and then you hope that they rank you high as well, so that in the end, you hope to match. I've had really good experience here, and I think I've shown that I can grow a lot, and I work well with the residents that are here, and I think it has a lot to do with your gut feeling, like where you end up. And I have a really good gut feeling about Loma Linda, and I guess it's just that scared that maybe they don't have a good gut feeling about me. It's like a relationship, you know? How do you know where the other person stands exactly?
it's sort of like job hunting and sort of not, because we're still going to be training, we're still going to be kind of in school, but we're actually going to be getting paid, so that's nice.
Here, try it.
No, show me a couple more.
The psychiatry program at Mayo is like 7th in the nation as far as psychiatry in their hospital. They're pretty much good at everything in Mayo. So excellent training there and the chance to live in a rural location.
We're very much thinking Mayo.
Yeah.
You already turned in your rank list.
Yeah, but you can always change it until Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Match day is actually 2 days combined. The first day you go to your house and everybody across the nation gets an email, you open it and it says either you matched or you didn't match.
Today is March 15. Today's the day I find out whether I matched or not. Actually, in 1 minute, it's 8:59.
I'm gonna go check and see if I matched. So this is the big match week.
I'm walking back from the hospital to here. I started getting really scared, and I thought I did not wear enough deodorant for this.
I've got some love letters from a couple program directors, which is kind of nice. You know, it's nice to be wanted from University of Colorado, Mayo, and Duke. The program directors sent me these nice long emails that said, hey, look, if you want to come here, we would love to have you, and we've got a spot for you. Mayo said, we're going to rank you to match for our program. So if you do the same, you'll come here.
There's been circumstances in the past where people have been kind of burned with that. So they say, well, you know, you can't totally believe people when they tell you they're going to rank you to match.
If you don't match, you can do what's called the scramble, and that means you try to match with any residency program in the U.S. It might not be in the specialty you want, but if you want a job, you might have to scramble.
So if medical school doesn't work out, I can move to Italy and work in some sweatshop making gnocchi. It's a good time for a slow computer.
Okay, so I have a letter in my inbox that said, did I match our NRMP staff? I really hope I did, because this is going to be embarrassing.
I think that's a med student's kind of worst nightmare. Here you put all this time and energy and money into getting your education, and then you end up jobless. That would be really frustrating.
Scrambling is not good. Scrambling is something that should only happen to eggs, not people. I matched. Wow, that was it. I just opened this. I thought I had to go somewhere. It just says, congratulations, you have matched.
Yeah, good.
I guess that's what I've been working for. I have a job in July. That's pretty crazy. Oh.
Hey, babe. So, good news, I matched. So, just find out where on Thursday.
Gotta call the mama.
Asher got on there and said, congratulations, Daddy.
The actual match day is a little bit different. That's where you find out where you're going. And for our match day, all of us gather in a room and randomly your name is called or drawn from a hat and you get an envelope. And you open the envelope and it says, congratulations, you've matched. And then it says where you've matched to. So that's match day. It's a little nerve-wracking.
I feel confident about next year, one, because I've matched and I know that I'm going someplace. And I think I have a really good shot at Loma Linda. And if I go someplace else, then I'll know it's really because that's where God wanted me to go. So to me, it's just more of a celebration day, but I know a lot of people are really nervous. So I don't know, we'll see.
So we find out where we go today. Hopefully there's no big surprises. We're expecting to go to Mayo. That's kind of what we've been planning for, but we'll see.
Okay, Dr. Hadley. So you want to say the first name? And then
I will say the first name. Is there any prize for the first name? Jillian Oft. Laura Denham.
Kimberly McMillan.
The next name is Mark Warren.
Sure.
Alan Coffey.
Any second now.
Lindsay Bautista.
Gotta let
So we have to put this is a picture of me. We're gonna put it where we're going here. We have to put it over here. No, there's no picture of you up there, just of me. Because I'm in school, and when you're in school, you'll have a picture of you. Nice work, man. Are you going to Mayo? Yeah, yeah. Congratulations. Are you happy?
Congratulations.
Are you ready?
Yes, I did. I matched in Loma Linda.
We've had a great show today. Now, see if you can answer our question this time.
How many doctors in Riverside and San Bernardino counties are graduates or employees of the School of Medicine and its residency programs? Watch for the answer on the screen in just a minute.
We'd like to thank our students for sharing their busy lives with us.
We also want to say thanks to all of our guests, and thanks to all of you for watching.
Join us again next time for another edition of Vital Signs, when we'll focus on where the School of Medicine is headed and what it will look like in the future.
And of course, another chapter in the lives of our medical students.
That's all on the next edition of Vital Signs.